I agree. I think there needs to be more comedy. More
Like,
comedy in
seriously,
Lederhosen.
I think
so
as
much
soon as we
trauma.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, we need Lederhosen. Die Lederhosen is fast.
Yeah.
I can go put on my Lederhosen if you want me to. I've got some downstairs.
Dude,
No.
True
you let
legitimate,
us down. You're supposed to
full
have it.
leather Lederhosen from when I was living in Germany. I got it from a costume store over there, but it was full legit.
Oh.
It's full actual pigs, like whatever type of leather it is. It might be cowhide. I don't know, but
You
Yeah.
tramp.
You're gonna go herd some sheep and cut down trees.
That
That was their work outfit.
It's this accent. Very persuasive.
Oh yeah, so Lederhosen, yeah.
yeah, I'm down.
Yeah.
Oh,
So Lederhosen, comedy, freedom.
it's
well,
too serious.
I just definitely think that as soon as we hop on Zoom, regardless of what's going on, you go live.
Yeah.
You just start
Yes.
recording. Because I
Absolutely.
feel like even last time we were on here, we had some really good conversations before we even got into the podcast.
I've noticed that as well.
People
It
miss
seems
out
that
on that, and that's not good. We don't
it's
want
more
you guys to
relaxed.
miss out.
We're just
I
getting
mean, we were
more
just
relaxed.
talking about Star Wars. Everybody wants to know about Star Wars and
Oh baby.
Squad, the squad mod on Star Wars.
Well,
Or,
apparently
Star
Star
Wars
Wars,
model
is
squad.
big in the air quotes movement these days. You've got, I think,
Why?
shameless plug. I think Red Pill 78 does a good show where he covers it with Brad Colgero Getz. I haven't personally seen it yet, but
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, we're pretty much fighting against the evil empire. So
we
Oh,
are.
that is true.
I mean, look at it. It's literally, yeah, we can go off on a tangent about that, but it is. The Galactic Empire is a deep state galactic organization that took over the galaxy. They're plain and simple.
I want to know who the nth is, the last entity that's literally controlling it.
Well, apparently it's like an archon or something, or archons.
I've heard that. I have heard that.
Yeah,
I don't know much about it, but
there's a source evil or an emanating source of the negativity that is coming from some star system, whether it's, I'm just name dropping Orion, or if it's the galactic center, some people speculate, or if it's just outside of our own solar system. I'm
That's
not
the thing.
sure.
This is a word, it's a legitimate word, and it's a clean word. There's an awful lot of fuckery going on here. We're just like subjectively just pulling things from the ether and saying that, there you go, there's more confusion. Just throw that in there.
yeah, I mean, it's
Confused already enough.
there's
Like,
definitely
more
entities
confused.
that consume the negative energy. You know what I mean? I mean, when you look at the media, you look at what's pushed out on social media, you look at what's on legacy media and all this stuff.
Yeah.
What it's doing is pushing fear, and it's amping up people's anxiety and all these different energies that are negative and not good for them. You see people, I mean, it pushes more people to get sick, pushes more people to live, ways that they wouldn't have lived otherwise, choosing to do things they wouldn't have normally done. It puts them on edge. They're angry all the time. They're fighting among one another in their own homes. You've got suicide rates higher than they ever been. And there
That's
are
right.
evil entities that consume this type of energy. And
Yes,
when
they
you're
do.
allowing yourself to be controlled by this, it's a horrible way of being. I mean, like I said a minute ago, it affects your overall physical, mental health. And, there's people that have been told they have cancer, and then it was a false positive of cancer. And then they die like 2 weeks later and come to find out they didn't have cancer at all. I mean, there's stories from all over history like that, not just with cancer, but other things. And there was, what was it? I can't remember the story where it came from, and I'm probably going to butcher it, but some guy, here's a guy got stuck in a train car, and it was supposedly a refrigerated train car.
I know this.
And he was like, oh no, I'm stuck in this train car. He's freaking out, and it's locked, and he couldn't get out. And he was on there like 12 hours overnight. Well, he was so deathly afraid because he had always been, don't get stuck in this train car. It's a refrigerated train car. It's part of like his standard operating procedures for his job and what he did. He got stuck. He was left overnight, and they came back the next day, and he died of hypothermia in the train car. Car wasn't even on. The refrigerator wasn't even on. It was like,
That's right.
Right. It was like 70 degrees in this train
Wow.
car, and there
It
was
normal room
nothing
temperature.
wrong.
Perfect.
And he died. He freaked himself out so much that he died. And
Now-
that's how powerful we are. Now think about that on the positive aspect of things. You know what I mean? You have all these people. I know this is kind of running on, and I know Cormac wants to get in here, but before Cormac,
this is great. This is great.
No, but listen. Think about that on the positive side of life. I mean, think about how you can will yourself into being successful, will yourself into being healthy. Think about, and even down to, the biological, the cellular level, you know what I mean? It's all about frequency, and you're vibrating at a higher frequency. You're increasing that frequency in your body. Okay. And it's changing the frequency to where you're tuned, to where you're more in tune with the earth. And you've got this more natural balance. And this is what people don't realize that you could do. And that's honestly, positivity is where it's at. And if you're constantly consuming, scary movies, you're constantly consuming, video games where it's shoot 'em up, bang, bang, or, you're constantly allowing yourself to be with these energy suckers, people around you that just suck the energy and drain it out of you because of their negative outlook on life and the way of everything, man. So recently I just got in with, anyway, y'all get the idea. There's plenty of references and examples I can give, but y'all know where I'm going with this. I know y'all are on the same page.
Sure, absolutely. We've got to be careful with, I'm saying we as a collective, those of us who are aware and awake have got to be very, very careful of not generalizing too much when we say that everybody is doing what we say they're doing, when we know that that's not truthful.
Right.
That there is a certain portion of society that would definitely be succumbing. And we can see that around us through the choice that has been forced on people over 2 years. Okay, so that's just one aspect. Everything is absolutely frequency. Everything. What you're hitting right on the nail there, nail on the head, is literally the man who fought himself to death. I suppose it's the best way of describing that. Now, the ones that call themselves, this word just, there's no other way to say it, it just pisses me off so much. Elite. Is elite not the best? They see themselves as being the best. They know your psychology better than you do. They know you're capable of this. That's why you're continuously, as a collective, bombarded so that you do not find out how powerful you are. Because the moment that you find out as a collective, they're done. They are so done. They're finished. And this will disintegrate like that. And it is about keeping people away from each other. Social distancing and 6 foot away from each other. Wow, seriously. How many people are after just getting caught in the fear that's around us everywhere? And yeah, we as a collective have to rise up to that. And all I'm seeing around me lately is a lot more, even in the spiritual podcasts, there's still a lot more division. Oh my gosh, James Gilliland makes me laugh. Love that guy. He says, oh my gosh, here in the UFO world, they eat their own children. Wow, spiritual world's doing the same. What's happened there? My gosh, that's such a disconnect even. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think it's, it's like can you show people who are watching the podcast with us your hoodie there? The front there?
Oh, my hoodie.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
There we go.
Yes. There you go.
Prepare to what?
Prepare to awaken.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes.
So I hear
shameless plug.
Is that one of your own hoodies or something?
Oh, no. This is from Nicole Frolic, Alchemy. I got my hoodies today and I got a baseball hat. Love this. And t-shirt. And yeah, it's a great group of people, fantastic group of people. Literally, I found when I discovered, I always watched James Gilliland consistently for quite a long time. And one of his people that he got on, I felt totally activated watching this person. And I'm asking myself, what the heck is going on? Like physically, I'm reacting, my body is reacting of heat in my chest. And I'm like, what's going on here? This is like this is a visceral reaction to this person. Why? And it was Nicole Frolic. Never seen the person, never heard of the person. And I'm very glad that I reached out to that person. I became a member of my family and I found my tribe.
That's awesome.
And it's fascinating that it happened without a physical connection per se.
No physical connection at all. And we've become firm friends. I'm very blessed that we have become firm friends. And yeah, we chat just like we do here. So that's cool. So yeah, I got this. Totally support that group of people, and it changes from time to time. So people come, people go, people make their choices. Yet the core of us is just a solid, fun-loving family of spiritual people. Protected, we protect each other, and that's what we need. We definitely need more than that. I'd love to see this expand, like globally, because we can do that.
We should.
Oh,
I want to bring the Lederhosen back into this because I think we can brand some Lederhosen that will really
think we
awaken some
could.
people. And I
What are
think
you
we
on
can,
about?
yeah, you could probably go to there's a beer fest somewhere that we can definitely awaken, right? That's funny.
I know.
No, but really, I think hearing what you said about,
Yeah.
both of you were talking about eliminating the form, or, for lack of a better term, if we could visualize a trap, some type of box, or what the media uses as fear to guide us into a place where we have these thoughts that we are weakened. We're internally exposed to ideas of perfection that are unattainable. We're stuck in the expectations of others and lowering that bar or raising that bar without really thinking about it. We're just trying to follow others, please others. We need to eliminate those forms so we can release that energy as a collective. And I think, Cormac, that's kind of where you were going. Does that kind of ring true?
Absolutely, because what we're going through is an archonic. We're learning it's an archonic state that's been going on for centuries, and literally, if you look around you right now, this is supposed to be the modern world, is it not? Yet, okay, here's the dichotomy for me, learning about previous lives in Orion. Okay, so that means we're way far more superior, technologically advanced, and spiritually. Yes. Look around me here, and I'm like, wow, what a ghetto. And it is. It's a ghetto by comparison. How were we ever like this? How did it come around to this? And then we're seeing through history the suppression of history. Fascinating. How advanced were humans previously? And we can see glimpses, slivers of seriously advanced people with seriously advanced spiritual.
It's undeniable.
Yeah, absolutely mind-bending. So look around you now. This is definitely the Dark Ages. We're still living in the Dark Ages, the Middle Ages even. That energy is still here. It's pervasive, it's invasive. And I've discovered on my meandering journey here, even in the last 11 years of living here in the UK, that society is literally barely working just above surface level. And if you break that, you'll begin to see it crumble so quickly. And I've seen that. I've discovered that in my journey. So this is a very, like, their balance of what life is very delicate, and it can be swayed, and that is something they're fighting. The negatives are fighting fiercely to protect.
It's forced, it's the way that I see what's happening right now. It's forced spiritual regression. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Wow, that's a good way.
That's a wonderful way of putting that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's brute force spiritual regression, and it's really on all fronts of our society. And if you look at it this way, let's say you were, I need to get back into this, and I would love to do this, but I don't like doing it by myself. I wanted to go I want somebody to go with me there for a while. For a couple of years, I would go out to Santa Fe National Park in New Mexico, southern tip of the Rockies here in United States. And there's a peak out there. It's called Pecos Baldy. And it's, don't get me wrong, I want to say 14,600 feet peak, and you can hike up to it and stuff. Well, anyway, there's no cell phone service. At least when I was going, there wasn't. It might have changed now, but it's completely unadulterated terrain, and it's just a huge area, national park. And
go with somebody, or you'll end up on David Paulides show, and you don't want to do that.
411.
I know, right?
But yeah, so I haven't gone in a while because I want somebody to go with, and it's just been hard to find.
That's
I haven't
wise.
found anybody.
That's wise.
But anyway, hey, maybe we can meet up sometime, Rick, because you're not too far from there either. It's kind of halfway between you and I, so maybe we can do something like that. But what I was getting to is that I would go. There's no cell service. I would take my phone, but I put it on airplane mode, and I would, or completely turn it off. And if I wanted to take a picture, I would pull it out, take a picture, put it back away, never on it, the whole time that I'm there. And I backpacked my own food in, all the food that I had for the entire week. I carried on my person. I carried a water filtration system, and I would only drink water out of the natural streams. And no showers, no nothing, no deodorant, none of that stuff. You know what I mean? I would take a bear bag, hang my food and anything that would smell other than just natural. I'd hang it in a bear bag away from where I ended up camping in my tent. I'd cook my food over the fire if it was something that I would cook over a campfire, or a little sterno canister that I would carry,
I'm loving this mental image of you just out there in the woods.
And anyway, you hike anywhere from 25 to 50 plus miles, somewhere a little bit more than that in a week. And you go all the way up and you go all the way back. Well, you start at a base camp of around 7,000 feet and you hike up to 15,000 feet. And that's right up where what is it? 14,000 feet where the tree line actually stops because of oxygen deprivation. And it stops, right? So there's no trees above that level. Anyway, so you can hike all the way up. You're seeing natural wildlife all over the place. You can run into bears. You can run into, not only just for the supernatural aspect of it, you don't want to run into a bear by yourself. You know what I mean? A little bit better.
You want to run away.
You know what I mean?
Unless he comes up to you and he starts talking, then it'd be a whole different type of
Hey.
hey. You here for the picnic?
Hey, boo-boo, you here for the picnic basket? No, but
exactly.
Then
But
you
anyway-
should not have had those shrooms back.
You got a cigarette, brother.
But it's awesome, man. It's one of the most spiritually cleansing, experiences that I have ever experienced in my life. And I want to get back to it. I want to do it at least once a year. And at least once a year, and you go for a week, you don't have any communication with the outside world other than whoever you're with. And man, it is just absolutely an incredible experience. But anyway, that being said, you go out there, you completely detox from everything, all electronics you detox from, you detox from just society and, the fast pace. You can just really get in tune with nature. You take a shower in a, raging waterfall, freezing cold water. Imagine how amazing that feels, taking a shower in the middle of the national forest, national park, underneath a waterfall. Dude, I'm telling you, it is one of the, if you've never done anything like that, you need to do it. And I need somebody to go with me. So Rick, we might have to start planning that. The best time to go, in my opinion, is in August. It's just before it starts getting really, really cold, but it's still getting down into like the 30s and 40s at night. And you might even, once you get up to a certain level, you might end up getting snow, but it's not so bad that you're going to freeze to death unless it's something that's a fluke, but obviously you're going to prepare ahead of time.
August, all right. Is that the time where the bears are less hungry and don't eat smokes as often?
Yeah, I think they're already going into hibernation. I think they're already, they've already either gone into hibernation or they're, pretty much collecting food and storing up that fat to go into hibernation. So it's either a really good time to go or a really bad time to go. But
and you'll only know when you're
I haven't actually ran into bears down there. However, in not Yellowstone, Yosemite, I went hiking for a week with some buddies that visited from Germany, and we came around a path that we had actually traveled up that day before, went up to hike and camped pretty much right next to a waterfall, and we came back the next day down the same path that we had went on the day before, come around a corner, and there's a black bear literally on the path, not 6 feet in front of us, and we came around the path and scared the shit out of him, and he jumped up onto a tree. I'm going to show you the video because this is honest to goodness true story.
So you have to jump on this guy.
I have the video. I'm literally filming as I go down this path, and here's this bear. Anyway, he hops on a tree, hugs it, and then it hops back down onto the path, and then hops up on the cliff above us, and we go around the corner, and we literally turn our backs to him and selfie with him up on this rock cliffside back behind us, and then we haul ass back down the mountain. But there was 3 of us that time. But you know what I mean? He seemed to be a lot more scared than we were, although we were pretty startled. Obviously, it's a bear, but it wasn't a full grown. But then again, I've never seen any black bears in person, but I don't think they get as big as what a grizzly does. So you know what I mean? Anyway, I'm not a bear expert, but it was still a wild bear in a national forest that is definitely not domesticated. So anyway,
he's like, I should have came here in April when there's less humans.
Long story short, get a chance to get out into the nature if you can, guys. It's amazing to detox, get away from that endorphin rush, from all the social media access and all that stuff. And endorphin detox is fantastic. Electronics detox, fantastic. And it's just get in tune with nature any way that you can. Get grounding, walk barefoot in the yard, man. Any way you can.
Ice bath, and there's Wim Hof going, hello.
Right.
Oh no.
That sounds like a real journey. Like, honestly, you could really turn that whole trip into something very profound for yourself if you put yourself there.
It's hard to explain. It's hard to put
that'd be really nice. I think that sounds like something I would enjoy doing.
Well, let's plan for it, man. Let's sit down and plan for it.
This is only built for one thing. This body, I have discovered this. It is only built for one thing only, which is why it has double is on most things. Okay. This is only built for one thing, and that is survival. It is built for survival.
Mm-hmm.
And going on that journey that you just suggested is literally what we're talking about here at the very beginning, before we even started talking here, recording, getting back to basics.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, our society is predicated on the destruction of our attunement to the earth and our spirituality. I mean, think about all these 5G towers, and even before 5G, think about all the micro radio waves and all these different waves that are going and circulating all around. So, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm a tech guy.
Sure.
I'm sitting behind, I've got a Wi-Fi, router in my house. I've got Bluetooth running all over the place, tons of different wireless devices. I mean, I'm not preaching like I'm some savant or somebody that's doing everything perfectly. But what I'm saying is that we want to limit that as much as possible. Don't spend all your time in the house, which is what the pandemic has been trying to force people to do.
Yes.
How do you think it's good for a technology company to push, go outside, get away from electronics and be in tune with the earth and experience the outside world? Or do you think it's better for a technology company, social media company, legacy media company, whatever? Do you think it's better for them to say, guys, live in fear, the coronavirus is going to kill you, your kids, your wife, your daughter, your dog, your goat? I mean, it's going to kill everything. You got to stay in your house. You got to live with a mask on your face. You can't, you know what I mean? You got to douse yourself with chemical antibacterial soap and hand sanitizer. You got to take a bath in hand sanitizer. You should probably literally do nothing but bathe in hand sanitizer. Don't even use water anymore. I mean,
put a mask over your eyes. It's getting through your eyeballs. Put a mask over your eyes. It's getting through your ears. Put earmuffs on.
Exactly. Do you think it's better for a tech company to say that, or do you think it's better for a tech company to say which one do you think benefits their pocketbook, their bank account?
Dude, wasn't it John D. Rockefeller?
Push the fear or not?
John D. Rockefeller in 1902 put $1 million into the education system. Did he or did he not? At the same time, became the America's wealthiest man. And the pharmaceutical company was then predicated to create medicine. So he then, him and his ilk, Rothschilds, Rockefellers, whatever, bought the medical system, which is why there is no such thing as a cure since the 1920s.
Yeah.
Pill for every ill.
I was talking to a guy yesterday. He invited me to a basketball game. And I know I'm talking a lot, guys. I just feel like I need to talk today. Sorry. Stop me anytime. But I went to a basketball game, an NBA basketball game here in Oklahoma Thunder. And previously I had been invited by another person, my cousin, who has season tickets.
Nice.
Through his business. He's vice president of a company, and he gets tickets and stuff. And he was like, yeah, man, you got to go to a NBA game with me, or a Thunder game. And I was like, well, man, there's a lot of things I won't do in society now because I'm not going to show a vaccine card. I'm not going to, play into that ridiculousness. I'm not going to willingly give away my freedoms just to go to some thing that they say I need to be interested in. I don't really watch sports anymore other than college football. I'm not going to let them steal my louche on that. But at the same time, I get tired of the agendas that are pushed. But aside from that, I got invited a while back, couldn't go because of the vaccine mandates and having to wear a mask. And I wasn't going to participate in that. Flash forward, I think I talked about it on another podcast, maybe with y'all, whatever. News story comes out. Thunder no longer requiring vaccine passports, no longer requiring negative COVID tests, no longer requiring masks to be worn. All of a sudden, they get a whole lot of people coming back to the ball games. A lot of people are participating now, and they had no fans there for a while. Anyway, I get invited by a new guy yesterday. Last minute, I went and go. I went with him, and we're sitting there at the game, and we're talking. And new acquaintance, don't really know much about him or his family. And I'm like, so what does your dad do? And he's like, oh, he's a cattle salesman. procurement specialist, essentially. Buy, sells cattle in transition from one farmer to sell barn. You get the idea. Anyway,
A dairy dealer.
And we just got to talking about a few different things. And he was like, yeah, my dad thinks he has cancer, or at least he's been diagnosed with that. And it's like skin cancer or something like that. And he's kind of depressed. And I said, well, here, let me, and he was like, yeah, he's trying to get something doctored on. I think he said it was skin cancer. Yeah, skin cancer. And I was like, well, colloidal silver. If you don't know about it, tell your dad to look into colloidal silver. And we really didn't go in depth into it, but viruses, things of that nature can't survive in a metallic environment. And silver has for a long time been utilized in historical medicine and so on and stuff. And it's microscopic silver suspended in water. And it can actually block viruses, bacteria, and stuff like that, because it's negatively or positively ionized, and viruses are negatively ionized, and it's drawn together, and it electrically kills that bacteria and that virus. So I was, I'm not a doctor or anything like that, but what I'm saying is that I actually, since the beginning of 2019, have been using colloidal silver. It's cleared up my sinuses, and there's a nasal spray, and you can use it and stuff like that. And anyway, read about it. If you don't know about it, take a look at colloidal silver. I told him about it. And the reason why is because I told my father-in-law about it a while back, and he had some skin cancer, works outside a lot, stuff like that. He started putting it all over his head. And he's a bald guy. He doesn't have any hair, similar to me, right? That's why I wear a hat all the time. But anyway, he puts it all over his head, and he said, man, all those dark spots and stuff have just gone away.
Clears up.
Yeah. And then I was telling him too, a lot of people don't realize it, but cancer can't survive unless it has acid to grow and sugar to grow. Two things, acid and sugar. And if you starve your body, starve those cancer cells of acid and sugar, they're going to start to shrink. And
not just cancer.
Not just cancer. I mean, there's many other things.
Diseases. And
right. But then another thing you could do.
Shamelessly mention Rick's beautiful wife for Lexi Eisenhower, who does chlorine dioxide cleanses. I have done these myself, also with the aid of Nicole Frolick, and they're amazing.
Yeah, I need to get into that. I really do.
Man,
absolutely amazing.
That's something we can do in the interim of planning our trip, dude. These type of colloidal silver is great, by the way. Anybody who doesn't use it, we use it for our cats a lot, because it's kind of a good mid-tier therapeutic, because we do give our cats chlorine dioxide to a degree. We use the part A and part B on-site mix, and the cat's stomach acid will react with part A very successfully. So we put that in their food, and they get that about once a month. But colloidal silver is great. And so, but yeah, chlorine dioxide too, for eliminating cancer cells. Exactly. Dude. Taking away what they use as fuel. And that's
their nutrients. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what we talk about in the biohacking series so much, is again, turning people on to these processes that are happening inside of our body. And you should understand them, even if you don't really get why the amino acids break down to create muscle, or whatever whatever process you want to look at. You should know that they're happening so that you can be aware and encourage them to be better. I believe we can talk to our bodies. I believe we really can get more. You can get more juice, so to speak, by being mentally aware and tuning to yourself and allowing and giving yourself body the basics.
My face wouldn't be working right now unless I actually told my body I wanted it to work, because I left-hand side of my face.
Exactly. Even the breathing too. People forget how easy it is to when they're beginning to meditate, and you tell people to focus on their breathing, and maybe that's the first time they've ever heard that, guys, and they are like, oh, I am breathing, and they're breathing in and breathing out, breathing in, and just being aware and thanking your lungs for breathing. People don't do that often.
No.
You can even get like a euphoric high just off of breathing exercises, and people don't realize how powerful it is. And then everything in your entire body works on oxygen intake. And not only that, but oxygen intake and the expelment of toxins out of your body when you exhale. People don't realize, oh yeah, I'm just breathing. I'm taking oxygen in and then breathing carbon dioxide out. You're not just breathing carbon dioxide out. You're breathing out other toxins. You know what I mean? You're not.
Yes.
It's a filtration system that people don't realize that they can tap into.
Yeah. The lungs are like big filters.
Put a mask on it. You can't filter.
Exactly. And you're not only that, but you're rebreathing your own bacteria and causing
Bingo.
yourself to get bacterial pneumonia.
While you're sitting inside of a box, weakening your immune system because you're getting no outside exposure. You're getting exposed to your own germs. Your immune system's confused. And the second you walk outside and get introduced to some type of new pathogen, you're screwed.
So put it into a context that people will understand. Try start your car in the morning with a banana up the tailpipe.
Yeah, there you go, man.
There you go.
It can't breathe.
All
So
of this
it's
is a trickle down effect too. Everything that has been forced upon society is just creating this trickle down effect. This overall just game plan in multiple different types and ways to destroy our immune systems, and people don't realize that. And it's just so, once you do realize it, you can't turn it off. You
got to
can't
realize
unsee it.
Most of society Western society is looking at themselves. They're actually post-traumatic. It's a post-traumatic society from countless numbers of traumas that are after being propagated against them by governments. Now, just right there, the word government, where does it come from? It's not an English word. It comes from Latin governatio ment, which in its direct translation means control of the mind. That's interesting in itself, okay? All global government is doing continuously is using the media to batter the public that they know is very pliable and malleable, into blaming them for the way that the world is a dump. The thing is, governments, when I say generalization, they are the ones that have created it this way, where everything that's in the social structure, sorry, I beg your pardon, in the ecology of the beautiful landscapes that we have around it is pillaged. Who does that? Well, you're not doing it. I'm not doing it. So who is doing it? Large conglomerates. Why? For money. So the forests are taken out left, right, and center, and flora, fauna, anything beautiful, build houses on it, concrete it, get rid of it, and continuously blame society for those ills as they reap the rewards, financial benefits, and live off the fat of the land. So why don't people just take a look at that for a moment? And if you are going to, not say blame, but just put the responsibility where it belongs with these tiny little groups of people that are in government over the masses of population that are controlling society in this way and using the media to lower the frequency continually through fear.
100% agree.
See where it comes from at its foundation level and put the responsibility where it belongs.
I love that, because it's a lot like deflecting an incoming attack, where you can use the inertia. You can use the inertia of that incoming attack to spin your opponent and gain the advantage. And that's what we want you guys to think about listening, is that, yes, the media has all this incoming, right? Yes.
Yeah. Just think. Stop. Think, hang on. Maybe what that man said on that podcast is actually truthful. Well, it is. Just take a look at it from a different aspect. That's all. Change your aspect, change your viewpoint. It's actually rudimentary.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. I mean, you're hitting the nail on the head with that, just to steal your own way of speaking. You know, when you were talking about the government and the Latin form of that word, where it originates from, these so-called elites, the way that I look at them is they are parasites. They're not elites. They are parasites taking advantage of humanity any way that they can to get their jollies off in any way that they can. I mean, that's ultimately what they're doing. You know what I mean? They prey on the detriment of humanity just to feel some type of source of power, or they're preying on that negative energy. And then to go back on that, the root of that word that you were talking about in Latin, think about television, right? Television telling you a vision. That's why it's named what it is. And it's controlled programming, whether it is the sitcom that you watch. I mean, now every sitcom you watch, it seems, when I've been passing by my in-laws' TV, when I'm at their house visiting or something, because we don't watch, scheduled programming at our house at all. But every commercial you watch is wearing a mask. Every one of those cop shows you look at, they're wearing a mask. This isn't reality. This isn't the real world.
Oh, even the commercials now, the advertisements,
whatever the hell, New York Fire, or it might be called whatever it is, but it's not reality. And then they're the ones that are wearing the mask in this. What are they trying to create? They're trying to push this narrative. Now, I think a lot of these walls are falling down, and this narrative that they're pushing is starting to come down, just like what we've been talking about. At least I know I've been talking about for the last 2.5 years. It's starting to deteriorate. But,
Yeah.
And I think that is think about if we didn't do anything. Think about if there was none of us out here pursuing the truth and trying to spread the truth. Would we be where we are now? Yeah, it's taken 2.5 years, but it's a war of attrition. You know what I mean? It's not, you can't just speak it once or just say, hey, yeah, tell one person. No, it's got to snowball. That's why we've been doing what we've been doing. Anyway.
I'm just trying to figure out a toothpaste
Well said.
trying to sell itself with a face mask on.
Right? Yeah.
You'll all come to 2022.
Jeez. It's craziness.
I like the idea of the eye mask and then the having it for your ears too, where you're just covering every orifice with a mask or some type of COVID earplugs. Let's not give China any ideas, all right? Come on. Oh, that's so smart.
Shows up on Alibaba. Here's your new mask.
Right.
You're wearing a damn astronaut helmet.
Well, that was the big joke again at the beginning was if T-shirts and bandanas work, then how come virologists in labs don't wear them? They wear these self-contained hermetic suits instead of just scraps of T-shirt. I mean,
Absolutely.
guys, that's literally the first instance of discernment.
I'm going to order mine on Etsy that was made out of the back sweatshop of somebody's, shack of the house. And, not to deter anybody from shopping on Etsy, but this handcrafted, custom printed fabric ordered from China, that was shipped in the mail to them, and then they make a mask out of it and they send it to you. Yeah. Congrats.
And it's made from polyester.
Really cute. And I think that it's going to really protect you. Go ahead and wear it, guys. Yeah.
They did that at the beginning with somewhere that I was working where they were handing out polyester masks and I flipped it over. The first thing I looked at was made in China. I was like, guys, what's wrong with this picture here?
Dude, I was given a keyring years ago. It was fantastic. I was given this keyring 6 years ago. And it was my partner's mom went off to New York City. And I said, bring me back something. She said,
yeah.
She did. She brought me back a keyring of a New York cat with the flag and the Statue of Liberty. It's really cool. Oh my gosh. But the label said made in China.
There you go. Yeah. It's crazy.
It still has that upstairs. I love that.
And I don't have any problem.
They were telling you right then. They were telling you your face.
Yeah.
See, it's so subversive. It's in your face, and you got to be aware. You got to be awake.
In a world that fears a supply chain crisis, it's good to have a friend for small businesses and shippers. Whether it's 1 to 10 pallets or a full climate-controlled van load, AAA Brokerage is eager and willing to assist you in your logistical needs. Contact us today for a rate quote to get started.